Welcome to this Skill Builder session on reading, research and note-making.
Reading is an essential part of your academic study. Whether it is alongside lectures and seminars or for assignments like essays or exams, you will have a lot of reading to do at university. Learning to use the most appropriate methods will help you to manage the volume of reading and use the material in the most effective way. This tutorial will help you identify some methods you could use, but remember that these are your notes and the methods you choose must work for you. By the end of this tutorial, you will hopefully be able to identify the purpose of your specific reading task. You will know how to utilize different reading techniques, assessing which is the best to use for your purpose, and you will be able to start devising a system of note-taking that will work for you. Your first task when reading will be to decide which materials to use and where to find them. The most obvious source will be your core texts and required reading, as instructed by your course leader. If you are looking for additional research, you may wish to look at what other texts are available in the same section as your course reading in the library. This is called a shelf scan. Take a look at what else is nearby or that have similar titles in the library catalogue. Another way you could find similar material is to look in the bibliographies of your course reading. These are usually found at the end of the text and will tell you what sources the author used. You can then look for these texts in the library or online and see if they give you any further details on the topic. You could also identify keywords, terms or phrases for your topic and search for these in the library catalogue or online. The library also have specific subject librarians who can help you find sources, or you could ask your lecturer or seminar leader to recommend some. Don't forget to keep a record of what you've read, with maybe a summary of the main ideas and any bibliographic information you will need to reference the text in an essay. Students often ask how much reading they should do for their essays. This will very much depend on your assignment and on your subject. For example, in science and social science, you may read fewer sources than in humanities, because you will be doing experiments alongside reading or be using very specific texts. Similarly, if you are writing an 8,000-word dissertation, you will be reading a lot more than for a 2,000-word essay. As a very, very rough guide, you might be looking at about one source for every 200 words. So a 2,000-word essay would need about 10 sources, for example. The quality of the source is much more important than the quantity, however. You'll be looking at different sources for different reasons. Firstly, you may wish to get a general overview of the topic with just key dates, figures and concepts. For this you would probably look at larger compendiums, core textbooks and even sites like Wikipedia. This would make up about 40 to 50% of your reading overall. Do be careful which of these you reference, however, as sites such as Wikipedia are generally considered not very academically reliable. Once you have an idea of the general concepts and key words, you will want to do some further reading to explore your topic and get ideas for your essay. This will likely be a combination of book chapters and articles, focusing on your topic rather than the whole field of study. This will make up about 20 to 30% of your reading. Next, you will need to look at sources that will help you answer your specific question. This is your advanced or specific reading and will be mostly recent journal articles, reports, book chapters, newspaper pieces, or even raw data. You may even include primary research you have done yourself, such as interviews, surveys, or experiments. This will make up about 20 to 30% of your research. The most important thing when starting your reading is to read with a plan. Why have you chosen this text? What do you need to know from it? What are you looking for? Knowing this will help you choose the right text and select the best method of reading and making notes. For example, if you're looking for background or context, you may need to read something in detail so that you can understand the whole situation. If you're just looking for details, like when a battle happened, or what year a book was published, or who won a particular case, then perhaps you don't need to read in the same way. Now you can choose the most effective reading strategy. Here are 3 reading strategies you could use to make research quicker and more helpful. Skim reading means reading as much as possible as quickly as possible. You'll mostly be trying to get a general idea of the text. You could maybe read just the abstract or the introduction or conclusion, or look at the index, table of contents or section headings to get an idea of whether it is relevant for your topic. Once you've identified the keywords related to your topic, you can scan sections by letting your eyes roll over the text and only reading the relevant sections. For example, just look for the word revolution or feminism, etc. Once you've found the right section, or if you need to understand the background of something, reading for detail is where you'll be looking for quotes or definitions that you can use in your essay. In order to remember the information you need for your essay, or when listening in lectures or seminars, you will need to find a way of writing and recording notes that works for you. The main thing is that you understand the system and use it consistently so that things make sense when you read your notes back later. Your notes need to help you write clearly and quickly, summarize information so that you don't have to read whole chunks of text again later to know what it says, and remember key themes and details, or at least find them easily later on. This includes how you store your notes. For example, perhaps keep separate folders or notebooks for each module and make sure you have written the lecture title and date, or the name and page numbers of the text you are reading. Or you may wish to print out the lecture slides and write your notes on them so that you have them both together. You need to be able to find your notes easily when you need them. Don't forget to keep track of what you've read so that you can reference the text properly and avoid checking out the same book twice. In order to use the material you have read, you will need to choose how to best present it. You could quote from the text to emphasize or evidence your point, which means repeating the exact wording. You would need to make it obvious that you are directly quoting by using quotation marks and making sure to copy exactly. It is advisable to only use short quotations, perhaps only 1 or 2 lines maximum. More often, you will paraphrase what the author has said by putting it into your own words and condensing the content. That way you can make it fit better to your point. If you want to make a point about the whole text, you will need to summarize it by giving a shortened version in your own words. However you present the material you've read, you must reference it appropriately. There are lots of ways to write your notes. You will need to come up with a system that suits you. The important thing is to be consistent and to store your notes in a logical way so that you can find and understand them later when you need them. Many people use abbreviations to write quickly. You might come up with shorthand versions of key phrases or information you use on a regular basis. Others find using icons, arrows, or colours helpful for emphasizing certain parts of their notes, perhaps using red ink for really important parts, or a star or asterisk. Using images or icons like this is a type of graphic recording. Mind maps are a good way of organizing your thoughts on a particular topic, to see if there are any gaps and to work out the connections between the concepts. Using different colors would help bring it to life and make it clearer.
Thank you for watching this presentation on reading, research and note-making. You should now be able to identify the purpose of your reading task, know how to utilize different reading techniques, and devise a system of note-taking that works for you. If there's anything you don't understand, please book an appointment on our website at www.kent.ac.uk/SAS or email us at sas@kent.ac.uk.